When you are born, where do you come from? When you die, where do you go? Life is like a floating cloud which appears. Death is like a floating cloud which disappears. But originally, this floating cloud does not exist. Life and death, coming and going, are also like that. But there is one thing which always remains clear. Always clear, not dependent on life and death. Then what is this one pure and clear thing?
Wir sind zahllos, wir loben sie alle zu retten. Die Täuschungen sind endlos, wir loben uns davon zu befreien. Die Lehren sind unendlich, wir loben sie alle zu lernen. Der Buddha-Weg ist unvorstellbar, wir loben ihn zu lernen.
There's a reason why I like Buddhism and why I can answer your question now. I completely believe in this teaching because this teaching is not dependent on anybody's idea. But this teaching is a teaching which allows you to gain your own experience. So I don't have to believe Buddha. I don't have to believe the eminent teachers. I don't have to believe anybody. My job is to see with my own eyes, hear with my own ears, smell with my own nose. Then if I can do that, then I can truly believe something. Buddha himself said, just because some great person said something, don't automatically accept that. Test it in the laboratory of your life. If it works, then you can accept it. If it doesn't work, throw it away. Just because some great book says something, don't just accept it. Test it. Test it yourself. If it works, then fine, you can accept it, you can believe in it, you can use it. If it doesn't work, throw it away. Just because society has a certain belief, don't automatically accept it. Test it in your life. If it works, then by all means believe in it. If it doesn't work, throw it away. So this was Buddha. This is one of the original teachings of the Buddha. This is what I came across right at the beginning when I was looking for something. So this I like very much. I came to United States from Poland in 1964. Then I went to school, junior high, high school, and then entered university in 1968, so late 60s, time of war in Vietnam. I became very active in the anti-war movement that time. So why did I do that? Well, I felt I want to help this world. Yeah, like many young people at that time, I wanted to be of some service to this world, and one thing I felt I could do was to help stop this very crazy war. While being active in organizing demonstrations and of course participating in them and so on, one day I had kind of an epiphany. I saw my friends who were also the organizers of this kind of movement, and I saw very clearly that if they were in charge of United States in place of the government we were protesting against, I wouldn't want to be there. I realized that very strongly. Now that wasn't so bad. Okay, that was okay. But then I looked at myself and I realized if I were in charge of this country, I wouldn't want to be there. Yeah. We are not any better than the people we are protesting against, because I saw in my friends also a lot of ego, a lot of pride, arrogance, anger, and I saw the same thing in myself. And that was very painful moment. So it happened at a demonstration, in fact. So immediately I left. That was the end of my, in a sense, political activity. Then I said, I have all these things, so if I'm gonna be of some help to this world, shouldn't I get rid of these things? So how do I do that? So then I started looking. Philosophy, also religion. You need God, but what is God? According to Christian teaching, actually God is infinite in time, infinite in space. If it's something finite, cannot be God. So that means God is already everywhere. Wherever you look, whatever you hear, whatever you smell, that's all God. Yeah? But many Christians go to church, and by the way, I'm talking about Christians now, but this same thing applies to Buddhists. Going to temple and praying, Buddha, Buddha, give me, give me, give me, give me. Or Christians go to church, God, Jesus, Maria, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Yeah? This means they don't really believe in God. Already everything, already they got everything. Yeah? Already God gave everything. So I want something from God means I don't believe in God. So this sign is actually upside down, should be reverse. God needs you. Then very correct. Why? Because this world has much suffering, many problems. Yeah? Then who's gonna solve these problems? God? Buddha? Whose responsibility it is? That's ours, right? Our world, our responsibility. God cannot do this. So God needs you. That's very correct. Okay? So this is my God teaching. Zen has twofold purpose: understand myself, help others. So first step, to understand myself. To understand myself means to have a question: what am I? Yeah? So you already said don't know. But if you keep this don't know moment by moment, then slowly, slowly this don't know can grow, grow and grow. Yeah? Then keep on returning, use this question, keep on returning to don't know, then continues to become bigger, bigger, bigger. Then all your desire, anger, ignorance all become less, less and less. But continue practicing, then your don't know continues to grow until one day becomes infinite in time, infinite in space. At that moment, a big aha can appear. So, for you or for any human being who would like to understand this very basic existential question, this big aha one time before death is very important. So that's what Zen is about. Yeah? And if you attain this aha, the next step is using it to help others. That's all. That is Zen. Yeah, some people call it enlightenment. So that's why I use aha, because as soon as you say enlightenment, some ideas come into mind. Yeah. Anyway, there is some experience which is possible that will allow you to have some insight into this question, what am I? Yeah. If you don't know, when this don't know becomes completely clear, that's this aha moment that I was talking about. I cannot describe to you, but I can give you kind of an allegory for it. You know, we are in a way like fish swimming in the ocean and asking ourselves, you know, asking what am I is like this fish asking, what is water? What is water? No idea. We're swimming in it, but what is it? Don't know. Yeah? Then maybe one day somehow this fish jumps out and then comes back in and then really understands what is water. So this is the aha moment I'm talking about. So it's not aha, something new. It's nothing new. It's been there all the time. My name is Wubong. I was born as Jacob Pearl in Poland. Then as a child, I came to United States with my family and was raised and educated there. I'm a mathematician, but while at the university, when I started university, I also became involved with meditation practice and have continued ever since. In particular, in the Zen tradition. I met my teacher in 1972, after I was already practicing for a couple of years. My teacher's name is Zen Master 숭산. He died 6 years ago. I've been basically following his teaching, his way of practice, ever since 1972. Became a teacher also in this lineage in 1984. First as what we call a Jido Popsenim or Dharma Master, and then in 1993, I believe it was, I received Dharma transmission, became Zen Master. Soon after I decided that I'm interested in Buddhist practice, I met somebody at my university who had some experience with Zen practice. So I can say he was my first teacher. He was not a Zen teacher per se, but he had more experience than me. So for me, he was my teacher. So this person showed me how to sit, gave me my first instruction on doing meditation, and encouraged me to practice with him. So I started to do that. Then at some point we decided together we want to go to a Zen center. And I took a year leave of absence from my university. And then together with my friend, we hitchhiked to California. That time there was a quite famous Zen center in San Francisco called San Francisco Zen Center under the direction of Suzuki Roshi, a Japanese Soto Zen teacher. So I practiced there for a while, but I also had some interest in Tibetan Buddhism. So after some time at San Francisco Zen Center, I went and met a Tibetan teacher nearby in Berkeley. And this teacher invited me to join his Sangha. His name was Tartang Tulku. So I decided to do so, and I lived at his center for about a year. Anyway, I had to return to my university because I had to complete my studies. So I went back to do my last year at the university. Then, just on the street, I ran into my friend, my first teacher. And then he told me that just the other day in a supermarket, he met a Korean Buddhist monk. And he took his address, telephone number. So we decided, let's go visit this man. We didn't know who it is or what, just a Korean monk there. So 2 days later, we went there together. So I met Zen Master 숭산. He was working in a laundromat, repairing laundry machines. Yeah, that's how he paid for his apartment, you know. So he really impressed me a lot as someone who really believes in what he's doing to do that. And actually at that time I even had no idea he's a Zen master. It just became very clear that he's much more experienced in Zen practice than either my friend or myself. So I decided then and there, okay, I will study with him until I learn everything that he knows, and then after that I will find some Zen master, somebody who's more advanced than him to study with. So, but it seems I didn't exhaust his what he knew. So. Yeah, I use the word also, spiritual, okay? But actually I have no idea what that means. Yeah, we use that anytime we talk about something to do with some kind of practice or religion, we use the word spiritual. But what is spiritual? What is not? I should put it different. What is not spiritual? My teacher used to say, your true teacher is always in front of you. Yeah, your true master is always in front of you. That means wherever you're looking, that's your master. When I look at that wall, I see red. Yeah? Red brick. So is that spiritual or not spiritual? But this is the truth. Yeah? That's already the truth. Buddhist teaching, the word emptiness is not exactly lack of something. It's a positive kind of quality. It simply means that you cannot assign any characteristic to this. So, for lack of a better way, we translate it as emptiness. But the Chinese character that's used, or the Sanskrit character, is not some kind of nihilism, as some Western philosophers interpret it to be. It's not a lack of something, it's more a lack, maybe inability to assign some characteristics, some sense of existence to something. As you can see, my struggle, it's very difficult to explain. So if you're practicing, you can experience it. But if you try to describe this experience, it's really impossible. But, you know, it's just a word. You know, I can explain many things in words, but this is really not, explanation is not really the way of our practice, because anytime you use words, you are very limited. So everybody needs their own experience. So that's why we do such things as meditation. We do practice. Otherwise, if we could just hear an explanation and truly understand, that would be wonderful. But it doesn't work like that. I can tell you everything I know, for example, about Korea But if you haven't lived there, you really don't know. It's just somebody's idea. The formal practice is done in several ways. There's a daily practice, and daily practice involves various techniques such as bowing practice, chanting practice, and sitting meditation practice. Those are the main activities. And also there are retreats. Retreats use the same elements, but the sitting practice takes place throughout the whole day. So it's very much more intensive. And they can vary typically anywhere from 1 day to 3 months. The 3-month traditional retreats that are tradition since time of Buddha. One other technique I didn't mention, which is part of this practice, is interview practice, where the student sits one-on-one with the teacher and they have some kind of exchange. You know, the best way to know it is not by my speech, but by trying it yourself, actually. Well, bowing practice is just what it sounds like. We bow again, and again. Typically, every morning we do 108 bows. This is following the Korean tradition. Okay. So this would normally be done for somebody's whole life until they're not able to do it anymore. But of course, some people do bowing practice in more intensive way. My teacher gave us good example of that. There were long periods, like 2 years at a time, when he was doing 1,000 bows every single day. 1,000 bows, that's about 2 hours of non-stop bowing. Yeah, quite fast. And I myself have done this kind of practice also, and many people in the school have done it. And even as much as 5,000 bows a day, which is 10 hours of non-stop bowing. So it's very, very intensive kind of bowing practice. So this bowing, many people ask, what does it mean? You're bowing to Buddha, some kind of idol. But bowing practice is very simple. If you're a Zen student, then none of this matters. Actually, you just bow. There's no idea about Buddha or something else. You just do the bows. And then you keep the same kind of practice inside that you would keep during sitting. Yeah? But if you have to explain it to somebody, then we say it's small I bowing to the big I. Okay. Then chanting practice we do every day also, usually morning and evening in a Zen center like this one. Chanting practice is just a way to keep clear mind. Sometimes when you're sitting, it's very difficult to become clear, to experience this clarity. But when you're doing chanting, it's very easy to experience that for yourself. Yeah, if you're chanting, then just perceive your own sound. In that moment already your mind is clear. We have a practice called Kido, which is literally means energy path. Kido can last again from 1 day up to 3 months. It means roughly about 8 hours of chanting every day, just non-stop chanting practice. So also it's quite difficult practice, but can be very valuable for somebody who, for example, like myself, who encountered many problems during my early days of practicing. And then, of course, sitting practice. Sitting practice is not just sitting. It means we sit, then we stand up, walk, then again sit down, stand up, walk, again sit down, and so on. And this also can be done in the Zen Center, in the daily context, where we do some sitting every morning, every evening, or it can be done as an intensive practice in a retreat, basically starting from about 4:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And most of this practice will be sitting practice. So this also can be done as a longer practice, traditionally 3 months. We do this these 3-month retreats every summer and every winter. They're called kyolcha. One of the things that was very special about my teacher is he spent all his life trying to bring people of different religions together. Well, I cannot say that he accomplished this work. But of course, you know, every time somebody tries something like that, there's some progress made. Yeah, he wrote a letter to the Pope because he felt that nobody else has as much authority and can influence as many people as the Pope. So he wrote a letter to the Pope and he proposed that the Pope make a meeting, invite spiritual leaders from all different traditions to come together. Then, what separates these people? Yeah, there's of course their dogma, but dogma is just some thinking. They have their thinking, somebody else has a different way of thinking, but originally they were all born as human beings. There was no difference. There was no dogma yet. Yeah? They're just human beings. They have this body and that's it. Then later, as they get their education and so on, these differences appear. So he said, why not come together? Have a meal together, then together go to sauna. Then why sauna? Because sauna you cannot take your robes. I cannot keep my Buddhist robes. The Catholic priest cannot keep his Catholic robes. So we take off these robes, then actually underneath we are all the same. All these differences disappear. Then together make sauna. So he really meant that. He wanted that to happen because it would create a very powerful symbol. What does baby need? Baby needs to be fed, needs to be kept clean, and needs sleep. That's all. Then as the child grows up, it needs to play. Children don't attach so much to something. So when baby is hungry, the baby will cry, but as soon as baby is fed, the baby is happy. The baby doesn't hold anything, just like adults. Adults tend to hold. So if I become unhappy, even something nice happens, I'm still unhappy. So this is kind of enlightened mind already. This natural human being's mind is there right from birth. But what happens, children have no willpower. Yeah? So first their personality needs to grow up, needs to mature. So in a way their I has to become strong. Then, as they get older and older, becomes necessary to take away this I, my, me. This what we call ego. So first this ego has to become strong, then have to get rid of it. Yeah? Return back to this original child's mind. So this is the learning process. The nature of suffering is having I, my, me. This is suffering. So if you have I, my, me, automatically you get suffering. If you have no I, my, me, there's no such thing as suffering. Do you want more explanation? We should believe in our own true self, yeah? In ourselves. So that doesn't mean believing in our desires, in our I, my, me. But to really find this belief, you have to find answer to this very basic existential issue. What am I? What is this I? Long ago Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. So if I don't think, then what? The I disappears. Then what then? This is the big issue. So what should we do? We should find the solution to this problem. What am I?
Yeah, man. Ja, man, ja. Auf Lottenheimen, an den Mountainside, in die Städte di Colorado, limiti l'America, man, coming together, man, with the sound, man, high in the stupor, man, oh, make the good sound, oh, make the good vibration, man.
In my job, teaching Zen, I had the opportunity to travel basically all over the world, almost every continent except the Arctic and Antarctica. So other than the North and South Pole, I've been just about everywhere. And one thing is very universal for human beings: everybody hopes to be happy. So is that what we should hope for? The problem is we want happiness and we chase happiness and we cannot catch happiness. When I was your age, just like you, I was always chasing after happiness. Then happiness was always running away from me. No matter how fast I ran, always it was faster. Then I met my teacher and I changed my life. And as part of my practice, always I've been running away from happiness. But I have a big problem, because no matter how fast I run, this happiness always catches up to me. So cannot get away. Yeah. I became a monk fairly recently, so most of my life I practiced as a layman. Becoming a monk does have some advantage, because if you look at the people who can do the most for the school, who don't have to be concerned about family obligations and work obligations and so on, it's the monks. So that's not a bad reason to join the monk sangha. And then you have the time and energy to help more. Just one question for you. For the monks, there are 250 precepts. If you ask me about these 250 precepts, I cannot tell you what they are. I don't remember. Okay, but actually, all these 250 precepts could be summed in just one precept, kind of precept, not really precept, but you will understand when I verbalize it, and that is, how may I help you? If you understand how may I help you, all the 250 precepts are already there. Okay, so that means these precepts are not for me. They are only for helping others. So Kongan can be an exchange between master and master, between master and student, or between students. Anything that challenges us in some way to make it complete, to make it correct. Yeah. Very basic to the Kongan is our common sense. It's not beyond something transcendent or beyond logic, etc., as was my impression in the beginning of my practice, but actually it's our common sense in action, our natural wisdom in action. I'll give you an example. Very famous Kongan. Buddha taught that everything in this world has Buddha nature. This is very basic Buddhist teaching. Yeah? But one time a monk asked the Joju Zen Master in China, does a dog have Buddha nature? Then Joju said, mu. Mu means no. It's a negation. So, according to Buddha's teaching, dog has Buddha nature. But according to Joju's teaching, who said, mu, dog doesn't have Buddha nature. Then which one is correct? If you say Buddha was correct, then I'll hit you 30 times. But if you say Joju was correct, I'll also hit you 30 times. So what can you do? In classical terms, samsara means this process of cause and effect. Okay, and In traditional Buddhism, it refers to the cycle of birth and death, and rebirth and death, and rebirth and death. Yeah. Then nirvana, in this kind of traditional teaching, means going beyond that, so that you are not reborn again. Zen looks a little differently at such things. So actually, in Zen teaching, there's no such distinction being made. Already our everyday life, that is nirvana. You know, the problem is it's easy to say this, okay? Anybody can say, you know, thinking is already truth. Everything I do is already truth. So practicing not necessary, because everything already truth. I've heard that. That kind of speech. So my teacher used to say, people used to ask him about enlightenment. So he would say, yeah, enlightenment is very easy. Keeping enlightenment, very difficult. So it's the same point. Death is part of life. Yeah. Already we experience it every moment of our life. So there's nothing special, you know. Anything that appears has to disappear. Anything that comes also has to go. You know, every moment of your life already your body's changing. Right? Some cells are, even if one cell drops off, yeah, already that's a different body. Not only your body, but also your thoughts are always changing. So moment by moment, different thinking. Your feelings are always changing. So moment by moment, different feeling. So already moment by moment, you die and you are reborn. Die, you are reborn. Yeah? Then our body is like a car. So when the car becomes old and broken, it's good to change the car. So we get rid of this car. Yeah, maybe next time you get better car. We don't decide to come into this world. We don't really decide to leave this world. But everybody thinks we can decide things. So you don't decide to come, you don't decide to leave. What makes you think you can decide in between? Now, this is human being. That means we have no choice. Human being has no choice. But in this no choice, there is really a choice. Zen comes from Buddhism. So Buddhism comes from a particular historical figure, Buddha. Then the name Buddha was not his original name. The name Buddha was given to him because it has a meaning, means somebody who's awake. Yeah. So this is the great choice that we actually have in our life. Everything else is by cause and effect. So we say karma. Whatever we do makes some result. This result is the cause for the next result, and so on and so on. So that's natural process. We can see that in nature all the time. The ground becomes wet, then seeds sprout, something grows. This is what I'm talking about. So the choice we have is in a given moment just to wake up. Wake up to this moment means to experience it 100%. This is our only choice. This is also what I call true human being, 100% human being.
Amen.